Swing and a miss on the fastball at 98, and Bryce Harper's been tossed. He slams down his bat, gets in Chris Siegel's face, and now he's going to further demonstrate where the strike zone is. And Nolasco gets in with off speed again, and Bryce breaks his bat on home plate. Whoa!
History.
And Bryce Harper wants a piece of Hunter Strickland. Here they go. Strickland lands a punch. Harper lands a punch. Bench is empty.
The fact that Bryce Harper is a fantastic baseball player cannot be emphasized enough. He is a 7-time All-Star, 2-time ML MVP, but there is also no denying that he might be baseball's #1 villain. From his opponents to umpires, teammates, and other players, not a lot of people seem particularly fond of Bryce. So what's the deal with him? Well, keep watching to find out the top reasons why everyone hates Bryce Harper. Some of them might surprise you. Number 7, the Home Run Derby drama. The Home Run Derby is essentially a friendly game, but competitors naturally love to win, and their nature sometimes sees them cross the line, even when there's not much to gain except bragging rights. Bryce's competitive streak was on full display in the 2018 Home Run Derby during All-Star Weekend, when he appeared to cheat while chasing Kyle Schwarber. Following his comeback victory, fans were quick to claim that Bryce and his dad, Ron Harper, had cheated. His father, who was pitching, did not let the balls hit by Bryce land before throwing new ones. Most people who complained of possible misdemeanors cited hand signals that Bryce had supposedly exchanged with his dad as proof of foul play. However, there didn't seem to be much to the claims, as a wide-angle shot of the game showed that Ron had received a signal to pitch from the referee before all of Bryce's hits. The fact that so much fuss was kicked up over possible infractions in the Home Run Derby, which is a relaxed competition and doesn't count for much more than bragging rights, suggests that the outrage was directed more at the person involved than the infraction itself. Had a player with a better reputation with the fans than Bryce been involved, maybe the reaction would have been different. This was just fuel for an already raging fire. But keep watching to find out some more legitimate reasons as to why he isn't a fan favorite. Number 6, his problems with umpires. More tangible criticisms of Bryce have been his many offenses involving referees dating back to his days as a junior player. He is so fond of showing up to referees that he's even been ejected on several occasions. In 2010, Bryce, then a 17-year-old, was already courting controversy and was ejected by an umpire in a Junior College World Series, after speaking out of turn to the umpire in the middle following a third strike in the 5th inning of the game. And that wouldn't be the last time that Bryce had an altercation with an umpire during a game, as he lost his cool again during a game against the Detroit Tigers. In the 9th inning, Bryce was ejected from the dugout by umpire Brian Knight after arguing about one of the umpire's calls. Bryce continued to argue with the ref until his own coaches interfered to get him to stop. Bryce's teammate Clint Robinson hit a walk-off home run soon after his ejection, and Bryce ran back onto the field, pointed a finger at Knight, and yelled expletives at the referee as he went along. He was fined for this offense and also received a 1-game suspension to boot. The multiple incidents with umpires certainly didn't endear Bryce to anyone, but that wasn't even the brunt of it. One of his most unforgivable moments was when he called baseball's traditions tired, the number 5 reason why no one likes Bryce. No matter who you are or how good of a player you are, it would be difficult not to hate you if you slandered everybody's favorite game. And when Bryce did exactly this, he immediately became public enemy number 1. What was his offense? Well, in an interview with ESPN, Bryce told reporters, "Baseball is worn out because you can't express yourself. It is a tiresome sport. You cannot act as other athletes do in other sports." In case his 13-year, $330 million contract with the Philadelphia Phillies didn't clue him in, the traditionalism of the sport is why people absolutely love the game. Baseball has a long history and appeal that no other sport has, which is why it's everyone's comfort game. Nothing is more reassuring than this game in a world where everything is changing and vulnerable to global influences. To speak against the institution, well, that was just a dagger in the hearts of fans. Although Bryce later made some feeble effort to redeem himself by claiming that he merely wanted to make the game enjoyable, we're not sure that he really did much damage control. However, valid he believed his reasons to be, the damage had been done and not a lot of people were going to easily forgive or forget his words. Number 4. He's had issues with lazy play. For all of his accolades gathered in a stellar baseball career, Bryce has never been able to shake the unwanted tag of being lazy. He has been accused of being lackadaisical by pundits, fans, coaches, and even teammates. For a professional athlete, this is among the worst things that a person can be labeled. As early as April of 2014, problems with Bryce's attitude started to surface when just a few weeks into his time as Nationals manager, Matt Williams elected to make an example of Bryce when the then 21-year-old failed to hustle down the line after grounding out to the pitcher. He drew Bryce aside and benched him for the remainder of the game. After that, when Bryce's slot in the batting order came up in a late rally, Williams told reporters it was too bad for his teammates. Only a year later, he had another altercation, but this time with a teammate at the Nats. The famous teammate brawl turned out to be Bryce's most famous on-field transgression. Nats closer Jonathan Papelbon was incensed when Bryce did not run quickly enough on a flyout, even though he did make it to first base. The pair got into an argument and had to be separated when Papelbon, who was no model citizen himself, started choking Bryce. Both players were suspended after the incident, and neither have been able to live it down ever since. Number 3, he referred to himself as Hercules. Most athletes are not modest, and hey, we're okay with that. We are even fine with people likening themselves to mythical heroes and other animals to make themselves larger than life in front of audiences and enhance their legends. However, when a 17-year-old Bryce likened himself to the gorgeous, ultra-powerful Greek god Hercules before he had even appeared in the MLB, fans wondered if young Bryce had gotten ahead of himself. He clearly had and still has an inflated sense of self, and this didn't go down well with the usual traditional and conservative baseball fans since he was so young and still had a lot to prove. Number 2, Bryce disrespected the A. Now everyone knows Bryce isn't a favorite among the baseball faithful in Atlanta, but many people don't even know why, and if you're one of them, hey, we got you. It all started during the 2014 season when it looked like he was purposefully scraped his foot across the Atlanta Braves A insignia as he approached the plate.
Did this 3 times, just kind of casually swiped his cleat across the A.
That year, the Nationals and Braves met again in Atlanta in mid-August after they had been battling it out for much of the season. Bryce's notoriety was no news at this point, and Braves fans booed him every time he batted. He may have tried to get one back at them as he looked to drag his cleats across the Braves emblem as he went through it a couple more times. He did it so frequently that the on-air broadcasters took note. When confronted about the incident, Bryce claimed that he had no recollection of intentionally doing that and further stated that he didn't take special note of his actions when he came up to bat. In his words, "The last thing on my mind as I approached the plate is that. I had no idea at all. I had no idea that I had done anything until someone approached me." Fans in Braves' Twitter account, however, seemed not to buy the story, tweeting #RespectTheA soon after footage of the event surfaced. Given Bryce's already checkered past, it would have been hard for anyone to believe him, and he has remained unpopular in Atlanta to date as a result of this. Number 1, he engaged in a brawl that ended another player's career. Now, you can get away with almost anything in professional sports, but a grievance against a fellow professional is almost certainly going to put you in the doghouse permanently. That's why at number 1, we have Bryce's most grievous offense to date. For those of you who don't know, Mike Morse was an outfielder who lined up for various teams across a storied career. He was set to retire in 2016, but was persuaded by the San Francisco Giants general manager to keep playing for one more season. During what was to be his final season of pro baseball, Mike and the Giants faced off against the Washington Nationals with Bryce in tow. In the game, Bryce came toe-to-toe with his old nemesis, pitcher Hunter Strickland, who hit him in the hip with a fastball going 98 miles per hour. Bryce got upset and charged at Strickland, and this resulted in fisticuffs, during which Mike Morse, who tried to come to Bryce's aid, was struck in the head and suffered a season-ending concussion. Following the incident, Bryce and Strickland were both suspended, even though neither had actually been able to do damage to the other. So these seem to be the top reasons why baseball fans are not fond of the person who initially seemed to be the sport's chosen one. What expectations do you have for Bryce when he first started playing baseball? Do you think he's overrated? Let us know in the comments below. And that is the end of today's video, so if you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe for more content and smash that like button. We'll see you in the next one.